Hi everyone, Mike with Wilkins here. I wanted to give you a quick overview of how to get the stream going with OBS through Facebook. Initially I had some issues getting the camera to work. I had to turn it on and off a couple of times for it to be able to register in OBS. So I don't know what may or may not cause that, but I guess worst case, if you're using OBS and the camera's not working, just try turning it on and off with the remote a few times. That seemed to have fixed it. Bryce also mentioned being able to access it through the IP address and reboot it that way. Once the camera is going, what we'll do is we'll come down here to Facebook. We're going to click on Go Live. As you guys know, the important thing would be grabbing the stream key right here. This needs to be added each time from what I've kind of just troubleshooted. Under the advanced settings, they will give you a persistent stream key, which I've highlighted, but it doesn't seem to allow OBS to consistently use that one. So either way, whether you use persistent or non-persistent, we're going to copy, and then we're going to go into OBS, and we're going to go to File, Settings, Stream. We're going to paste that here. Click Apply. Okay. Then we need to start streaming. Then we can go back to Facebook. And if we did that correctly, as you can see, that already pulls the video up here. So from what I've gathered, we have to start it in OBS first for Facebook to grab the video source here. Then we can do our post details. We'll just for right now say test. Save, and then we can click down here and we can go live. So we'll get out of that. Coming back here, you can see we've got the video and we've got the audio sources here. Obviously the video will show here if that's working. The audio, there's a couple of things that we have to make sure are in place first. First being, we're going to go to the start menu and we're going to go to Dante Virtual Sound Card. So Dante Virtual Sound Card is currently running, as you can see with the stop button here. If it wasn't running, this would say start. So it would look like this. We'll stop it. We want to make sure it's on WDM. That's the important setting. So we'll click start. Now that's activated. So then in OBS, when we go to audio input capture, that needs to be device DVS, Dante Virtual Sound Card, receive channels 1, 2. So there are other options here. Make sure this is selected on 1 and 2, and then hit OK. Over on the mixer, if you remember, we have user-defined key 4 for the mix for the live stream. The first 5 channels are the microphone channels. Those are set to post fader, meaning they will follow the adjustments made on the main mix for those channels. 6, 7, and 8 are the piano and the organ. Those are set to pre-fader, meaning they will follow this particular adjustment here regardless of where the mix is on the main mix. And if you remember, we set these 3 channels to not be assigned to the main mix. So, if we go into the channel view screen, over here in this little box, the stereo icon is deselected. It would be red if it was active. So when we turn that off, no matter what happens in the main mix with these faders, it will not come through, and the adjustments here do not affect what's happening here. These channels do need to be turned on. If they are turned off, they will not come through the live stream mix. So they have to be turned on, but it does not matter where they are here. The 5 microphone channels, it does matter where the mix levels are here. So I'll illustrate that now. So here's microphone 5. Hey, 1, 2, 1, 2. You can see there's signal coming in on channel 5 here, but there's no audio going to the main mix because the fader is turned down. So if we turn this up, 1, 2, 1, 2, and you can hear it in the house. If I have that turned down in the house mix, and I go to the aux mix for the live stream, you can still see the signal here, but again, we don't see signal here because that fader is turned down. So if we raise that fader, and then we go back to the live stream, 1, 2, 1, 2, and then we will also see that over here on OBS. So if this is down, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, you can see that we don't have any signal. So whatever channel you are sending to it, it needs to be turned up in the live stream mix. And if it's one of the 5 microphone channels, it also needs to be turned up on the main mix. That is also the same for the CD player and the computer and the DVD player, as well as the stage input. So any of those, they have to be turned up here on the mix, on the main mix, and then relevant to the mix levels that are being sent to the aux stream. The only other setting that may at some point need to be adjusted, or I should say selected, we're going to go to Start, and we're going to go to Dante Controller. This is something you should never have to adjust, but if everything is on and active and we still don't have any sound, you may need to go to Dante Sound Controller, or Dante Controller, excuse me. Push these 2 plus arrows, and what that's going to do is bring up the patching between the computer and the mixer. We need to have these 2 selected here. So what we're doing is we're saying these are the transmit channels, these are the receive channels. So we have to select 1 and 2 on the transmit of the mixer to go to channels 1 and 2 on Dante Virtual Sound Card. That's what Sound Booth is set up as. That's the name of the computer, is where it's pulling that from. So those need to be selected, and they should always be patched that way. And we also need to make sure under settings, under patch, output, this will scroll left and right. Under Dante 1 and Dante 2, those both need to be selected as live stream mix 4. That should get you going.